Why does a compliment makes you feel so good? Why do we sometimes replay criticism in our mind for days? Why do we care so much about what other people think of us? Most people like to believe they are independent, that they make their own decisions, that they don't need anyone else's approval. But if we are honest, nearly all of us seek validation in one way or another. We seek it from parents, friends, partners, bosses, and strangers online. Sometimes we even seek validation from people we don't like. The desire of validation is deeply human. But when our self worth becomes dependent on the opinion of others, it can become a trap. A trap that leaves us constantly chasing approvals while never feeling truly secure. Today, we are exploring why people seek validation, exploring childhood influences that shape this need, the powerful role social media plays in amplifying it. The most importantly, how to develop internal validation so your confidence no longer depends on the applause of others. Let's begin. Validation is the feeling of being seen, understood, accepted, and approved. At its core, validation tells us you matter, you are enough, you are valued. There is nothing wrong in wanting validation. The problem arises when validation becomes a requirement rather than a bonus. When your confidence rises and falls based on external reactions, when your mood depends on how others respond, when your self-worth becomes something you borrow from other people, that's when validation stops helping and start controlling. Many validation-seeking habits begin long before adulthood. As children, we depend on caregivers for survival. Their approvals means safety. Their attention means connection. Their affection means belonging. If a child receives constant love and support, they often develop a healthy sense of self-worth. But when approval is inconsistent, things can become complicated. Some children learn, I am valuable when I perform well. I am lovable when I make others happy. I am accepted when I meet expectations. Over time, these beliefs become deeply rooted. The child grows up, but the need remains. Now they are seeking from bosses what they once sought from parents. Seeking from parents what they once sought from caregivers. Seeking from social media what they once sought from family. The environment changes, the pattern stays the same. At the heart of validation, seeking is often a fear of rejection. Human beings are social creatures. For most of history, belonging to a group increased chances of survival. Being rejected could mean danger, isolation, vulnerability. Our brain still carries traces of that ancient wiring. That's why criticism can feel so painful. That's why exhaustion hurts. That's why approval feels rewarding. Validation isn't just psychological, it's biological. Our brains are designed to care about social acceptance. The challenge is learning how much power we should give it. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest amplifiers of validation seeking in modern history: social media. For most of human history, validation comes from relatively small group of people: family, friends, community. Today, validation can come from hundreds, thousands, or even millions of strangers. And that's a completely different experience. Every like, every comment, every share, every follower becomes a tiny form of social approval. The problem isn't social media itself. The problem is when numbers begin defining self-worth. When a post performs well, confidence rises. But when engagement drops, confidence falls. Suddenly, self-esteem becomes tied to algorithm, and that's a dangerous place to build your identity. Social media creates a cycle. You post something, you receive approval, you feel good, you want more. So you post again and again and again. Over time, your focus shifts. Instead of asking, what do I genuinely enjoy? Start asking, what will get approval? Instead of expressing yourself, you begin performing for reactions. The need for validation becomes stronger because it's constantly rewarded. And like many rewards, it can become addictive. Living for validation has consequences. You become afraid of disappointing people. You struggle to set boundaries. You avoid expressing unpopular opinions. You make choices based on acceptance instead of authenticity. You become a version of yourself designed to please others. The tragic part is that even when approval arrives, it rarely lasts. The satisfaction is temporary. Soon you need another compliment, another achievement, another sign that you are worthy. The cycle never ends because external validation can only provide temporary relief, not lasting confidence. So, what is internal validation? Internal validation means recognizing your worth without needing constant confirmation from others. It means being able to say, I approve myself, I respect my efforts, I value who I am, even when nobody else notices, even when nobody understands. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback, it means not depending on feedback for your identity. First, start keeping promises to yourself. Self respect grows when actions align your values. Second, celebrate effort, not just outcome. Success is not always under your control, effort is. Third, practice making decisions without seeking immediate approval. Trust your judgment. Fourth, spend time understanding your values. What matters to you? Not your parents, society, social media, you. Finally, learn to sit with disapprovals. Not everyone will like you, not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. Freedom begins when approval becomes optional instead of necessity. Seeking validation is human. It often begins in childhood. It is amplified by social media and it is reinforced by our desire to belong. But lasting confidence doesn't come from collecting approvals. It comes from developing a relationship with yourself. Because no amount of external praise can permanently fill an internal void. The goal isn't to stop appreciating validation. The goal is to stop depending on it. Thanks for watching, and now I would love to hear from you. Do you think most people are seeking validation without realizing it? Or are we simply wired to care about what others think? Let me know in the comments below. Till then, take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.